Thank you for having us. You've been doing a good job, by the way.
This looks amazing.
Thank you so much. Like,
You're out there working hard.
like
they got
forever.
you.
I know, Dr. Rosche, it's been a minute.
Yes. So thank you guys for saying yes again. When I first did this telethon, I call you guys the vets because you guys were on back then when I did it. And so no need for any nerves because we just gonna flow, right? We just having a conversation about things that are gonna happen. So first, give me an introduction of like who you guys are. So just tell me like who you are and what you do, okay?
You want to go first?
You can go.
I'll go first. I mean, ladies is always first, but in this case, I guess we got to go first.
I asked him to, so
yes. Hello, everybody. Like the screen says, my name is Maximilian. I've been in the financial industry probably the last 6 years or so. Now, been licensed and helping a lot of families. Every single day, 6-7 days a week, talking about money consistently. I mean, I have so many interests, just like all young people. I feel like nowadays, we kind of understand we have to have multiple streams of income. So, I have a business as well, and I have interest in real estate, like all young people do also. But I know I can kind of tackle a lot of those different businesses or tackle those things a little bit better now that I have so much financial just experience and having mentors for the first time in my life. I know growing up, I never had mentors before. I kind of was just watching people around me and just kind of going with the flow of things. And, I think one thing that's pretty difficult for young people is just figuring out, what we want to do, because we want to kind of juggle our passions and, juggle making the right decision on if we should go to school or making money, so I feel like finances influences a lot of the way or how we make a lot of decisions in our lives, whether it's a good thing, a good decision or a bad decision. I think it influences a lot. So I'm very grateful to be in a position I am in. I know some of my family members and friends and clients are tuning into this. So thank you guys for coming in. But I'm super excited to rock out with you guys and talk a lot further. But Brittany, you go ahead and share with people a little bit about your background.
Before I share about myself, Max left out a lot of amazing things that he does as well. But maybe we'll get into that in these questions. But I am Britt Weathers. I am a social entrepreneur. I work in a lot of different industries, but the main three would be tech, entertainment, and a little bit of real estate. I would say right now I'm really excited about the management projects that I work on with specific music artists that are pretty important. And
a lot of music artists that you guys got on Spotify and iTunes right
now.
Okay, be fabulous.
For sure. She's doing her thing.
And really just my ultimate goal is to create unity in all people. And art is a great place to do that in. So I understand that there are a lot of different mediums to do that in. And so I help people with that along with doing my own. So it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're pretty good at what you do.
Both of your lives. So are seem like it's going fabulous. Like,
you got to find somebody who will be willing to deal with the ebbs and flows of really being an entrepreneur. It's very important, and that's something that we're very grateful for. So
so that's so cool to have like a good friendship, business partner, all in one, right? So that's awesome. That's so great.
And somebody said don't forget that one, Dr. Rosche.
I don't know what he's talking about.
For sure.
And boss?
Yeah. I just come to work
I don't know what he's talking
she pays
about.
Me, so
Yes, there we go. That's how it has to go.
I don't know about all that.
And they say these are people in the comments said these are two of my favorite millennials. So go back, Max and Britney. That's what I'm talking about. So even people saying like everybody saying I love Max. Max and Clifford Sims.
Shout out to my boy Clifford.
So nice. So if you guys don't mind share with me how old you guys are.
Ooh.
I'm 27. He's 27.
I mean, you're old now. Like
I'm getting old, Dr. Rosche. I'm getting up there.
I'm just getting started.
I feel like we were like 21 when we first started doing this.
Yeah.
I want to know when you guys first got started. What was it like? So you guys are 27 now?
What did you say?
27. How old are you?
Yes. We're both 27, same year.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
I am a couple of years over him. So
got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Just a couple of months, She's still young and beautiful, so it doesn't matter.
But she's older and she's the boss. So we already figured things out.
You know how I'm getting all these titles that I didn't ask for? I told y'all the ones that I had, and now I'm getting more.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Don't let the
let's go ahead and get into just kind of the interview. So Max, you said you've been in this industry for about 6 years, right? So, what kind of brought you guys to this industry? You guys are wonderful, agents, and also huge, passionate sharers of life insurance and making sure that young people are aware. So tell me what brought you into this industry, and then I'll end up asking you another question after that. Okay.
All right. Awesome. Well, my current boss has a lot to do why I'm in the industry right now. Miss Britney introduced me to her amazing parents, and I know a lot of you guys out there. I believe they're tuning in as well. So shout out to Alan Tracy Weathers.
The best, shout out mom and dad.
The best mentors I've had as well. But they are a big reason. At the time when I first started in the industry, like I said earlier, I was really confused and not exactly sure which direction I was going to go in career-wise, business-wise. I knew specifically, though, that I definitely wanted to have my own business, have some financial independence, and do a lot of amazing things like that. But specifically what avenue that was going to be, what lane I would take or walk down, what path I would go down, I wasn't necessarily sure about that. And then this industry came across my table, like I said, through Britney and her parents. They shed a lot of light about just being able to accomplish all the things that I wanted to accomplish, right? You look at the checklist and it's like, I want to do this, this, and this. And, this business has allowed me to start to check a lot of those boxes, for myself and for my family as well. So I'm forever grateful for that. But, once I kind of got my feet wet, still wasn't completely sure if this was something that I was going to really do. But it ended up really just pulling me in all the way, and I really enjoyed it and loved it. Obviously in business, you have your ups and downs. And so the fact that I was able to push through a lot of my down times that I've had, just growing pains of being young and trying to figure out my path and carving out my path in this industry, especially being worried too, being young at the time when I first started at, 21. When I first started, I was worried that a lot of my clients, wouldn't take me as serious because, they're looking at me and they're saying, well, I have children that are probably older than you. So, I really thought in the back of my mind that would be a little bit of an issue. But, honestly, because of the mentorship that I got, the love surrounding me from a lot of the people around me in this business, and, a couple of people I have supporters, outside of this business, shout out to my mom, huge number one supporter, of course.
Yes.
So my parents definitely for sure. My grandmother, my godmom, she's probably watching as well. Shout out to you, Gina.
Yeah.
She's at a retirement party last week, so we had a lot of fun with that. But she sent me a lot of clients, and I've been able to impact a lot of people that way. So I'm really super grateful though that I was afforded the opportunity to get to know Britney's family and getting introduced to this amazing outlet, within the financial services space. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got started. And it's been going very, very well for myself. I've seen a lot of growth in myself. I'm doing a lot of things that I've never thought that I would do before. Especially public speaking.
Yes.
That one is Britney could tell you. Britney's known me pretty much all my life.
And as y'all can see, he can talk.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Rosche, the question was, how did we get started, right?
Yeah.
Was that the question? We can't hear you yet. Well, okay.
Got
So,
you.
a couple of technical difficulties.
Tell them how you got started. This is the Britney and Max show right now. Go ahead, babe.
I'm just gonna be very straightforward because that's how I get down.
Mhm.
How can you be successful if you don't understand finances? I mean, everybody talks about I got money, and money is everywhere and all these different things. But if you don't understand the basics of finances, how can you be successful? How can you continue to grow? And I think that I am very, very much so blessed to have parents that were able to give me that foundation. Once I was able to learn the basics of finances and my own finances and learn that my trajectory required for me to have flexibility and work on different projects at different times that required different amounts of capital, I had to be able to make sure that my foundation was sturdy enough so that those ebbs and flows in business wouldn't affect my daily life. So I came back from college. I was in San Francisco, which all my Bay Area
Shout out to the Bay.
Shout out to the Bay.
Yeah.
I miss the people more than anything. But in the Bay, I focused mainly on tech, and I was a part of learning venture capitalism and working with a top venture capitalist firm, and they're dealing with billions of dollars. In a normal day, you just send over 300 million to someone, and I don't think that. I mean, that experience taught me that I needed to understand finances in a way to be able to do the same thing in my future. So came back to LA, started working more in entertainment, and Max was doing really well here. He still is. He's actually doing amazing. And
well, thank you.
Yeah, I actually am a good boss. I actually say nice things. But I came back. I talked to my dad. He's like, Max is doing good. You need to just understand the basics. And so I came back and I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna sit with you guys. I'm gonna actually learn. I'm gonna ask a lot of questions. I probably annoyed the crap out of all of them, but I got the understanding and I was able to make better decisions that I'm very happy about now. So that's kind of how I got started in understanding finance and how it plays a very big part in my life.
Yeah.
Do this. I'm doing a lot. I got a lot going on. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah,
you now.
You can? Okay. All right. I have like 2 computers up trying to get this last part going.
We roll with it.
I'm loving the Max and Britney show. Y'all should really do this. This should be like a YouTube show that you guys really
years now,
No,
she don't like being in front of the camera though. She like behind the scenes, Warren Buffett type of person. Making things happen behind the scenes. She don't like being in the front.
Listen,
but you're so good. You're so good at it, though.
Quite the personality, doesn't she?
And she does. And you guys have like great, engagement with one another, so like that little banter between each other. Like people love that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I get on for you, Dr. Rosche, whatever you need.
No.
I mean, I want y'all to do your own Max and Britney show. Like that's what I'm talking about.
we talk about it all. We might be able to talk to E! News about that. They may want to pick that up.
Yes, I think so.
We'll figure that out. We'll talk about it, Dr. Rosche.
Right.
You can executive produce that show for us.
I will. Yes, I'll be the producer to make it happen.
Perfect.
So you guys, tell me a little bit about what would be some apprehensions to young people your age or a little bit younger to getting life insurance, and why should why should they still get it even at a very young age, even though they don't have any dependents or anything?
You want to have that one first?
Yeah, and you piggyback and say anything you think of. But when you said that, the first thought that came to mind is kind of what I was already mentioning, is that life insurance in itself is for the living and for the dead. And that's a part that a lot of people don't really understand. They think that it's these small amounts of money that you get when the person's dead. And that's not the reality. And if you want to be a part of different, opportunities, you have to have capital, right?
Yeah.
And we are young, we have great work ethic, but time is a very big tool here. And
Yes.
so life insurance, when you actually understand it, is a great tool to make sure that you have finances or money in the future and also in the present as it grows. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you're putting money in the bank, what interest rate are you getting?
Right.
You're not getting anything. If you put money into a policy that's for you, that you can pull out of when you need to focus on your future, then you
Mm-hmm.
already, that is growing more money than the bank is giving you, and
Yes.
it's protected better than the bank protects things. Like, let's really think about this.
Right. Right.
So I mean, understanding that and knowing that I need to make sure that I have future protection, not just for, passing away, but in, health problems happen, and living benefits was a very big point for me. And the reason why is because in my life, I've had two people that were under the age of 30 have a stroke.
Right.
One,
Somebody just said medical illness doesn't have an age.
it
Yes.
doesn't. It
Right.
doesn't. And we millennials,
That's a good point.
we're a different breed, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
misunderstandings of what's happening with us health wise as well. It's all
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
And for me, with the two people that I very much cared for and love, one passed away, and I wasn't
Mm.
expecting that.
Yeah.
And
Of course not.
at the time, I thought, okay, we need to get our money together so that we can actually take care of this person who is 20, 28, who was doing everything for themselves, working on their goals, and then had a stroke.
Wow. Yeah.
And my other friend, he was 24, and he had to rebuild his whole life. He had to learn how to write again.
Oh my goodness.
He
That's
had
huge.
to And he still has to protect himself now. That, I mean, this is kind of side note, but the fact that at 24 he had to realize that if I do start to have a stroke, I have to snort a powder so that I can get to the hospital.
Oh my. Yeah. Yeah.
So that really did shake me up a lot, because it
Yeah.
helped me understand that, yes, I'm going to do my best to make sure that I'm in the best health standards as possible. But they weren't in bad health statuses. It was just, things do happen. And
Yeah.
to know that you need to be worried about your health and not worried about your finances, and worried about, is this new apartment that I just decided to rent going to actually be able to keep it because I'm sick,
Yeah.
is something that I felt was important to have protection for,
Yes.
because I've seen how it can go. And if we don't plan effectively in ways that it won't happen that way, then are we actually learning? Are we actually growing? Are we actually being better? Are we
Right.
doing that? So that's those are a few of the reasons why life insurance is important to me, the right type, and
Yes.
understanding the one that works for your goals. Another point is that, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. No
Mm-hmm.
401k. First
Right.
of all,
That part.
401k, 401k, if you really look into it, do your
Yes.
research and talk
Right.
to these professionals here. They'll explain to you more of it and if it works with your goals. But
Yes.
knowing, being a millennial, most millennials are not going to be able to stay at a position for 20 years.
Yes. No. My mom
No.
stayed at somewhere for 41 years. And I'm older than y'all. Not like heck older, but I'm older than you guys.
You're not
And
old.
like I don't stay at jobs for that long. The longest that I ever stay at a job is like maybe close to 4 years. And then I'm already ready to go to a new job. And then in self-employment is way better.
It is way better. But like you just said it. And right now they're calling it the great resignation.
Yeah.
The great resignation, which means that money that you've been letting them take out of your check.
Right. Come on.
What you gonna
Yeah.
do?
Exactly. Most people don't even stay at their jobs long enough to even get vested. They don't even know what vested is.
Exactly.
Right. And so then you're not going to get any of that, that money, that's been accumulating over time.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's good.
So knowing where your money's going and how to get to it is very important because it's your money.
It's right. And life insurance, like I want to go back to what Chris Horton said, can help you be your own bank. Right? Exactly. You can be your own bank and create your own retirement. Life insurance can give you that peace of mind. So tell me, Max, what do you think? Like, why is life insurance so important, for young people at this time?
You're really good at this, by the way.
I mean, she's so good at it. I mean, I want to give it. Man. I love how you guys compliment each other so much. You're like, oh, you good? Oh, you good? Like, you're good. Like, you the bomb, but you the bomb too.
There's no teleprompter in front of us. I promise you. No teleprompter in here.
Yeah.
She's just hitting the points. One thing I would like to add to that is it's funny when you think traditionally when I speak with my clients and I ask them, when you hear life insurance, what do you normally think? And of course, the first thing they think about is death. And, I kind of share with them, well, for me, the first thing I think about is Walt Disney, for example.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the names that actually pops up in my head immediately when I think about that. Why? Because Disneyland wouldn't be Disneyland if it wasn't funded without life insurance money. And a lot of people don't even know that. For those of you kind of listening in on this live right now, just Google it and read about it. Nobody got sick. Nobody died. Walt Disney simply had some great people, like Britney has great parents that shared this information with her, and she took it and ran with it. And now she's able to establish herself financially sooner than most at her age. And same thing for Walt Disney. Like you said, be your own bank just a minute ago. Walt Disney literally was his own bank, right? He literally took out money. I believe it was $100,000. Out of his life insurance policy, right? Nobody got sick, nobody died again, just to remind you guys, and funded his dream.
That is a great example.
A lot of young people, a lot of us, we have dreams, we have goals. A lot of us want to start a business. A lot of us want to purchase property. A lot of us want to create a lot of us want to, just be in a better position to help others, start nonprofit organizations, etc. But all of those things I listed, it takes money to fund a lot. So one of the best places you can do that is go into your life insurance policy. Like Brittany said, you sit down with a professional and you structure it correctly, because it can go wrong in a lot of cases if you don't know exactly what you're doing. But if you're properly educated and you structure correctly, I mean, you can literally accomplish all of those things that I just more, and I think that's really huge. And I think that's why us millennials, younger people, whatever you want to call us, should pay more attention. And I believe we should be more open to it. You know why? Because we're kind of used to doing unorthodox ways. Like you said, Dr. Rosche, a lot of us don't stay at jobs long. That's new. Beforehand, I mean, working 30, 40 years at a job, you get your goal. Wow. At the end of the day, that was, the societal norm. Well, now a lot of those things have changed. A lot of millennials nowadays have multiple streams of income, and a lot of millennials have multiple businesses and not a job, and they're, able to sustain themselves. So
you need to have multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
You
right. Speak to it.
Lifestyle that you want. Like,
you gotta have multiple streams too if you want somebody like Britney in your life too. You just got to throw that.
I keep
well, baby, she got multiple streams too.
Well, I just like okay, like think about this. You hear these people screaming back here? Okay, but
you were saying,
if we're talking about millennials and understanding that we have to know every option available to make the best decisions for our future, we have to understand where the mindset is. And so part of that mindset is set in understanding that we as millennials have gone through what we call it 3 now, because if we call this COVID time 3 crashes,
That's
financial
true.
crashes.
Yeah.
we've gone through 9/11. I was in the first grade in 9/11.
Right.
Like thinking about how these things are happening and what all of these very, very, and COVID, all of these very, very intense events that have happened in our formative years have caused us to see that the people that we love and we trust that are older than us did not know what to do either.
No, not at all.
They did not have the plan together.
Yeah. And everything, so unprecedented.
None of that. Knowing that you have to plan better so that it will not shake you up the way that it shook up your friends and family members. And 08 really did shake up a lot of my friends' homes and family lives, and it caused a lot of distress. But it's like, how do you explain to a kid what a subprime loan is?
That part, right? Exactly. All they know is they have to move.
All they know is they went from a 5-bedroom house to a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yes.
But that causes the brain to think differently about money and how people work with money.
Yeah.
And understanding that, yes, life insurance, especially cash value life insurance, allows you to be able to prepare for the ups and downs of life, because that's just going to happen.
Right.
Yes. Oh my goodness, you guys are just dropping like gems on top of gems. That's why I'm saying that y'all need your own like YouTube, video. Because for you to not want to be a speaker, Britney, dude.
It's in my blood. Y'all know my mama.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like you preaching. I almost wrote "Preach, Britney." You know what I'm saying?
No, my mother has always taught me that when you believe in something and you're passionate about it and you can help others, you should.
Yes. Yeah.
You should. You shouldn't hold it just to yourself, because I don't hold it. Any new, important, great knowledge that I have, I share, especially with artists. It's a very, very tough world, and they do not teach anything about finances to artists. They just say, I got you a new chain, and it's a problem.
Right. And just the idea that people make, all this money is coming in, especially if you come from like a background family of people not making any kind of money. So all you do is just like squander everything that you end up getting, because nobody's ever really taught you and educated you around finances. And you have no idea to how to put these wealth building strategies in place. Right. So it throws everything off, and so that's why they need you, Britney, to be all in their face. Like, hey, let me, tell you about my mama. This is what she do. Right. You know what I mean? Let me tell you about like, I'm gonna just say my husband, and let me tell you what he do, So
that's right.
This guy?
That guy.
That's guy right here?
So that guy. So awesome information. Anything else that you guys would like to share as we're kind of like ending this whole experience of Labor of Love Telethon today?
I think, I kind of want to challenge a lot of people or everybody on the call today, really just to just give it a shot to get educated on just some different ways, and ask the person on different ways of creating wealth for your family. But whoever invited you onto this live stream, I think is super key to just ask them, sit down with them about 30 minutes and say, look, start the conversation off with this question. How can I use this tool that you're talking about? Because that's all it is, guys. Don't get caught up in it's life insurance and whatever, just because it's Life Insurance Awareness Month. There's millions of ways to build wealth, lots of ways to create wealth for your family. But obviously, we're specifically talking about this tool right here. But we all want to accomplish things financially. So ask the person who invited you and say, look, how can I use this tool to accomplish my goal? Your goal of retiring in the next 10 years or 15 years or whatever the goal is, right? Your goal of being able to pay for your child to go to college in full. Your goal to maybe establish $50,000, $60,000 to help your kid get their first home, when they get to 26 years old, right? Because I know, prior generations, they were able to purchase property, at 19, 20, 21 years old. And that's, that number has kind of been pushed out a lot nowadays. And so just find out how you can use this tool. Don't get so caught up in, the name of the tool and what it could potentially mean, but find out, is this really worth your while?
Yeah.
How can you actually achieve what your goal is? Because at the end of the day, we can't afford to waste any more time. Everything around us is getting a lot more expensive, right? We're in a pandemic. A lot of financial changes have happened. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, all that conversation is boiling over. Is 401k enough? Is this, is that? So we really have to kind of, educate ourselves and choose the people that you trust the most. I'm sure obviously you guys wouldn't be listening in tonight or today if you didn't trust the person that invited you. And so, have a more open conversation about it, in terms of how this can help you achieve your goals. So, I know specifically we're kind of talking to young people, but I definitely want to talk to everybody, just to be a little bit more challenging them to get a little bit unorthodox and find out how this tool can help them accomplish their goals, because usually this tool has been a part of a lot of people's financial plan who we admire on a financial level, and they openly talk about it. Forbes put out an article about a football coach who used cash value life insurance instead of you getting a traditional retirement from Michigan University. Jim Harbaugh, you guys know him.
Allen Iverson.
I mean, there's so many people out there who we've seen have some success, but they just like the average person, we don't typically grow up with this information. Information has to be shared by word of mouth. So I just wanted to say all that, just to challenge everybody to go ahead and take 30 minutes to go and talk to the person that invited you. You say, look, this will actually work my while, achieve my financial goals, and if they can show you how you can do that, then I don't see the loss in it at all. So thank you guys again. Brittany, go ahead and close us out.
I'm gonna give him a second. I'm gonna second what Max said and challenge yourself. And a part of that challenge is understanding that you have to invest in yourself. Everybody's trying to figure out what they need to hop on next, but if you don't invest, how can any of this happen? Walt Disney himself, and he knew that if he wanted to create a team that all the banks told him no, they would not give him money to invest in him, that he had to use his own self to make sure it could happen. And any young people, all people, any dream you have, if it's going to require some type of capital in the future, and you don't want it to be that you don't have an opportunity to even use a tool that can help you bring capital to be able to complete your dream.
Yep.
So start you and help others.
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what people are saying. Mac and Britney are dropping bombs right now, right? So you're shaking up and disturbing some things in people on today. So thank you guys so much for joining me again for another year, right? After maybe a few years, y'all not going to be considered the young people no more, though. So I'm going to have to find some other young people. But you guys can always share great information. I really think y'all should get this YouTube popping. So let's get that going as soon as possible. So thank you so much. I'm going to take you guys off. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Woohoo! So this has been an amazing day, guys. An amazing day. We've had some incredible speakers. I just want to say thank you to all the speakers on today.